Welcome to the TK Show with the Athletic Bay Area's editor-in-chief, Tim Kawakami.
Everybody, Tim Kawakami here in an echoey room. I won't declare where this is, but it's a new space to be recording a podcast. My producer is my managing editor, Jimmy Durkin, and my guest for today, since we haven't done a Warriors Plus Minus, I don't know if we're ever going to do one again. I'm not quite sure. My guest is my partner on Warriors Plus Minus, but this is a TK show. I'm welcoming him on. Marcus Thompson. Marcus, anything happened last few days? Anything you can bring us up to speed on?
I've been kind of like, head down in the cave, so I don't know. What did I miss? Did I miss something?
I think you changed the world a couple days, apparently by accident, by declaring that Kevin Durant's going to leave the Warriors, and apparently that shook some people up.
Hey, I'm glad the choice is on me, man. I like that kind of power.
Everybody was waiting for you. Everybody didn't know, and that now it's clear. So Kevin can just go ahead and fill out what you've ordered that he's going to do. I know you've probably been about 17 podcasts since then, and you try to create other news. But since the aggregation happened of your opinion that Kevin Durant is going to leave the Warriors after this season, I don't think it's just one of those things that kind of like everybody was thinking, and you said it out loud, which is part of the good things about being Marcus Thompson. But since then, has there been a reaction? Has there been any specific thing that's happened that struck you as interesting after this aggregation of your opinion?
The interesting part is that people are acting like this movie hasn't already happened. Yep. Like this is all like I'm creating this out of nowhere. Like we haven't seen it before, right? Like wow. People are literally like saying to me, "How could he? Are you hearing what he's saying? He said he loves it." like
that's pretty good.
Did you just walk in at half the movie? Like I don't understand. It's just weird. Look, fans are fans, right? I think you say this more than anybody. Like fans are they're kind of nutty that way, and
they want to believe what makes them feel good, right? I mean,
yes, and so they blame me, right? I've gotten blame. I've gotten people are like, "Hey, this is the reason he's going to leave."
Yes.
Yeah, out of all the factors, the money, the location, the relationships behind the scene, all that, it's going to be what a media member says that decides this thing. It's just weird how weird people are about a movie we've seen before, and this is not even the Oklahoma City deal, right? He's won 2 championships. He's won 2 finals MVPs. If he did decide to leave, like, it's a tip your cap. It was a great run. Like, there should be no ill will, no hard feelings, because he came and he did what he set out to do. So I really don't understand the vitriol, the shock, or this is what NBA players do. They move.
That's my point too. Was some people got mad at you, Marcus? I don't clearly understand writing something that people get mad about. That's above and beyond my pay grade. But it's like, you can't be writing about this. Just enjoy the season. My goodness, who knows? Like, don't you realize that how long the Warriors plot to get Kevin? How often did we write about the Warriors going after Kevin Durant? If you play this game and the Warriors clearly are in this game, you have to understand that people are going to be looking at your guys too. That's the way this works. You can't have it both ways. But it is interesting for Warriors fans to get a feel for what Oklahoma City fans went through for more than a year. Maybe
after mocking them, right, for being mad about it.
Absolutely. Or what New Orleans fans are going through with Anthony Davis or whatever. It just seems interesting. Or Cleveland fans with LeBron, then Miami fans with LeBron, then Cleveland fans again with LeBron. This is the NBA, and if you're in this world, which the Warriors have injected themselves into, and we've applauded them for it, this is the way it goes. You're looking ahead. You're always looking ahead. You're looking for the next thing, and you're looking for the thing you might lose. That's just, I think maybe Warriors fans are just not used to that in this era. Too bad. This is what happens when you sign Kevin Durant. This is how you got. How many times have we said that, Marcus? This is how you got him in the first place.
Right. The part that was interesting was people kept saying to me, "Oh, this is just clickbait." I'm like, I'm the victim of clickbait. Like, what do you mean? I didn't start this.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, what was the conversation we had when you were telling me about it?
All I remember was you saying, "Write it."
Yeah. I said, you know what? It's good that you're getting all this attention for KMBR and everything, and maybe
But you should probably write.
Yeah, I mean, we have a business to run ourselves, so you go ahead and maybe write that for us because it's actually really interesting stuff that's thought through. That's here's my point too. I get a sense, and you don't have to say for sure or what. It's just that the Warriors themselves are coming to grips with this. That's what this is. It's like, Kevin's all over the place, and that's okay. And he set himself up to be, have options every set of the way, and then, make up his mind as it goes. It's the Warriors going, you know what? There's nothing else for us to do. We've done what we can. We've fulfilled what we said we would, we would do with him in the Hamptons during that meeting. If he goes, he goes. What are they going to do? And I think that is a weird backdoor part of this whole Serenity Now season. That last season was kind of the embroiled, oh my goodness, is he really part of us? Is he not part of us? Oh my God, is he happy? Is he not happy? This season, it's almost like a let go. Like, if he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. What are we going to do about it?
And look, I get why, people were so mad, or people, like I understand, even though I feel like it was just my opinion. Obviously, my opinion is more informed than just some regular old barbershop opinion. But
I sure hope so.
The truth is, like, it was kind of shaped by these conversations, right? Like, you have them too, right? This is not like something we're not talking about. Everybody's talking about this. Everybody's like digesting it. Everybody's like trying to predict what will happen. If you're around anywhere in the Warriors, somebody's going to say, so what do you think he's going to do? Right? And then that becomes a conversation, and you kind of get a pulse of the Warriors are like, I hope he stays, but you can see them, like, unknowingly but collectively, like, getting their hearts ready for him to leave.
Yep.
Right? And which means they see something that makes them think that, right? And here's where I knew it. When at the press conference when he was asked about it, who asked him?
That would be me.
And he's like, "Yeah, I just want to keep my options open." Whoa, Kevin Durant isn't even giving the precursory. Oh, I love it here. Like, well, no, I don't want to go anywhere else. And there is a difference. Like, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but there is a difference between how Durant is handling it and how Steph handled it. Right? Mm-hmm. There's the I want to be here. Absolutely. As long as you give me my money, we good. Right, I'm here, and then the Durant, I want to keep my options open. I don't think either is wrong. I don't think either is bad. Of course Steph would feel that way. He's been here forever, right? He loves it here. Like, he's got all the reasons to want to stay. And Kevin Durant has all the reasons to want to test the market. Like, that's all fine, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not there either. Like I can't mention this because we don't know yet. Of course we don't know, but we can hypothesize, and you and I are not the only ones talking about this. Everybody in the organization is wondering, what's he going to do? And I do think there's a part of Kevin Durant that likes that.
I don't think you set yourself up to be a free agent for 4 straight years without liking some of it. No question. I mean, as someone who is writing a book about Kevin Durant, including the Oklahoma City year where he was saying all the right things, different than this, by the way. He didn't say, I'm just giving my options. He said how much he loved Oklahoma City, if I remember correctly, before he left. So can you compare what this is, this season compared to his final season in Oklahoma City? Is there a different tone to it?
No question. And I feel like we're witnessing the growth of Kevin Durant. And, obviously I'm writing about this, but you can see that he's, and this is like admirable, where he's saying, look, all right, I agree. I might have misled people last time. Right? He's like, all right, I understand.
Interesting.
What happened, right? I understand. Like, yes, I do reserve the right to change my mind. I do reserve the right to make a choice for my life. Like, I'm not giving that up. But he's clearly saying, I understand why the people are so mad. Like, I get how I handled it. Even though I might be right, I understand, like, why that might have burned some people the other way. I'm not doing that again. And it's really a high level of respect. Like, okay, he could say the company line. He could do that just to keep the peace, right? Just to keep the season smooth. Like, oh, I love this. Like, you don't even have to say which way you're leaning or whatever. Just say, man, look, I'm not talking about that. We know the line. I'm focused on this season. I love being with these guys. This is great. We're gonna win championship. Blah blah blah. He can do all that and just avoid it, and then pop up later. But I think he's saying, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, I'm going to be real because I feel like it's a respect play. I feel like he knows if he doesn't do this, if he does this time like he did last time, it's going to be worse for him. But we're watching a man learn a lesson and correct his mistake and not play the game of, like, the PR. And this is what
I'm going to want you to write another.
I understand.
I want you to write another column. That's pretty good stuff.
I mean, you might just need to, you might just run the excerpt.
Yeah. You're gonna just keep writing columns that are just gonna be on the way to the book, which is great, which is the way I want.
All right, I'll have this one this weekend. All right,
I love that. I love that.
I won't do the quick turnaround, but that's what, like, this is what I respect and admire Durant for, because no matter what you say about him, like, you're getting him.
Yep.
Like, you're just getting
him. Sometimes it changes, but he's,
yep.
That's part of it too. He's like, his mood changes, so he's different. Then he's not going to try to pretend he's in a different mood. You go up to him, you get what you get. And it's really not kind of, it's not filtered. It's not like, oh, you know what? I love everything. And maybe he was like that in Oklahoma City. It's not like that now. And sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's middle. Sometimes it's not great. I just think there's a freedom in that. And I think he's feeling that for sure. He's talked about, he made this move. And I was talking to Nash about this a lot when one of his guys, that he just felt that this was a move he had to make to become a man, to be on his own. It was like Oklahoma City was almost like college. And this was how, you go to a different spot, you go to a very cultural, center, and you grow there, you expand your experiences. Do you think he's ready for another expansion? Is this part of that? He wants to see something else?
I think he wants to see if that's what he wants to do. And I do think there's a possibility that he goes out there and he looks and he says, I mean, can you think about this? Can you imagine sitting in front of another owner and another general manager? Like, that's when you really appreciate Joe Lacob and Bob Myers, right?
Yep. Well, I was thinking James Dolan isn't going to, knock your socks off. That's for sure.
Can you imagine sitting in front of Dolan and be like, man, this don't even sound like Joe, right?
Yep.
And I do think I think he's ready to do it, but I also think I'm going to presume that he's more wise about what he wants, right? And so he might be more ready to spot what he's actually getting, what he wants, and whether he sees it this time. So that means he could come back, but I also feel like these other teams, this is what happens, and this is what happens in the NBA. Like, this is what happens in sports. This is why free agency exists. It's because some people just know how to woo, right? Yep. And that's how the Warriors got him.
Yep.
And when now you turn around and you say, all right, here's what I'm looking at, and this is fresh and it's new, and there's something like attractive about it. There's no counter from the Warriors. That's the only reason why I think, like, hey, that's gonna be tough, because whoever's gonna throw, they already know the strengths and the weaknesses of the Warriors. They've probably been doing their recognizance. They know what the issues are. You know what they're gonna say. You can control the ball in this one. We're gonna run pick and rolls for you all day. It's like, but it's like they can formulate the game plan to say, here's why we're better than the Warriors for you right now.
Yep.
And the Warriors won't have a counter except, man, you already know who we are.
Yep.
And that might be tough to overcome, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he said, you know what, I kind of rather, I think I'm going to stick with Steph on this one.
Oh, aggregate it. Marcus Thompson changing his mind. This is Bleacher Report. Get on this right now.
My guess is he's out. That's just my guess. But hey,
again, I don't want to keep going on and on this, but we already have. When we talk through it, and I really think about it, and other people have reported this is not breaking. New York does seem like it fulfills a lot of those things that we're discussing. The new adventure, be the number one guy, really, make a huge splash. The league would love this. The ratings would go up in New York.
Build his empire.
Absolutely.
His empire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'd have the tech over there, and you'd have the financial in New York. But then, the idea, the theory of the Knicks is what we're talking about. The practicality is sitting across the table from James Dolan and believing that this is the best way that you can win championships. And as I believe you said on another podcast, this only really works for him if he wins a championship. If he goes, he crosses the country, goes to the Knicks, leaves the Warriors, and they're 47, and 35, and the seventh seed and losing the first round, that's not too good. So I think the theory of this is what he's open to. We'll see what happens when it really comes down to it, because he's not going to the Lakers, right? You would agree with that? I just don't think the Lakers. That's correct. There's not even a chance it's the Lakers.
Can you imagine him playing next to LeBron?
Oh, it would be crazy. That would be a problem. It's crossed off. That's not. Whenever I hear Lakers with him, I go, you don't know. That's one thing I know about Kevin, is not going to go to be LeBron James. He's not going to be anybody's number 2. He's not going to be LeBron James number 2. There's no chance that's happening. So then that really that narrows it down if you take the Lakers out. So, and anything to add, or you want to switch the topic? You love talking about this so much, I think, recently.
No. Now you done gave me a column, so let's just switch and they can read about it.
All right. Well, I took a little bit of the game last night. I don't know if you did. Really slow, foul-played game.
They're going to be a problem. These big men are going to be a problem.
They are. I was going to say. I mean, I saw Jerebko tripping all over the place. Damian Jones was guarding the wrong people.
Tim, what is it? What is it? These veteran players come here, and all of a sudden they're like the Monstars took their powers.
Yep.
I don't. Jerebko he looked nothing like the guy we saw in Boston. Like he couldn't even catch the ball. No. It was just weird. He couldn't make a layup. Like, who is that guy?
Yep, that was.
I've seen a lot of him too. He's not trash like that.
Yep. He looked nervous, but I mean, why would you be nervous? It's a preseason game. You just catch the ball, turn, look at the basket, and pass. And
this is his 10th season. He shouldn't be nervous under any circumstance.
It was weird. I mean, whatever. I mean, it was, but it's not like he was out there. I guess he was with Curry and Durant in his first stint, because he came out at the end of the first quarter. But then he was out there with the second unit, and he did nothing with the second unit. That was really not. If people who are flashing back to Caspi immediately with Jonas Jerebko, that's not good for Jonas Jerebko. It's not good for the Warriors, because that's the other thing. They're going to need his minutes. Somebody's got to play backup power forward. It's not going to be Durant all the time. It's not going to be Iguodala all the time, and Draymond's going to miss time. I think we all know that. What do they do? How are they going to do this if Jerebko is a work in progress?
I mean, they're just gonna take the L's and hope it grows until he grows into something. I mean, look, Jordan Bell and Damian Jones still aren't that comfortable with the ball.
Yep.
And it would be a lot easier if they weren't just throwing the ball into the third row, right? And these are the type of mistakes that you do now that make Steve says,
Go on Kevon Looney now. 40 minutes
right,
Looney.
Come on, Looney. Those are the type of mistakes. Some of the I'm trapped. I've lost my dribble. Let me throw it to the third row.
Yep.
Those are the type of turnovers where it occurs. You just look panicked right there, and I don't know if I can. I need to develop some comfort with you. So, I get it with Damian Jones. It's a little surprising that Jordan Bell still has a little uneasiness. He's still not trying to get to the rim.
He's got a problem with that. I mean, even in the open court when he missed that dunk, or whatever, he couldn't get to it, so I guess it was a layup. He's got a problem with his footwork in there or something.
He's running too fast.
Yep.
He's running too fast, and then he's got to now come down to a chop and take off.
Yep.
But it's feet. If you watch his feet, they're just going so fast.
Yep.
That it's weird. You can't just speed. Tyus Etney could do it, but he can't do that. You can't just 1,000 mile. There's some choreography to it. Westbrook can do it where he's going fast, and then he comes to a pace and a rhythm and a cadence, so you can get to the rim. He doesn't have that at all. It's just weird. And he can't gather. So who was that missed it? Did he miss that layup?
He missed the running layup. Yeah, he missed a running layup. It was wide open. He just mistimed it. He was going. You're right. Same two.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. It's he can't get the feet and the timing right, because that's a dunk.
Yep.
There's no reason he shouldn't be dunking that. There's no reason at all. But there's something up with his feet. But I just think they move too fast. I don't know what they do besides just take the lumps while these dudes grow. Like, that's the only.
And then wait for Boogie. Wait for Boogie. I mean, that's
there. Like, you wait when Boogie gets there. Now it's like, okay, we got 5. We got Sean, Andre. Give us Looney, and that's 8 dudes. We straight. But until then, you just go with 52 wins.
Yeah, they're not going to have 52 wins. That's interesting if they got 52 wins. It would be an interesting season to cover. There was enough panic attack over 58, so 52 could be a very interesting thing.
Here's what I was thinking watching this. I know what you're gonna say, but man, they need Jamal Crawford.
You say that no matter what, though. They could be 81-1. You go, you know what? They could really use Jamal Crawford.
No, seriously, when they bring in a subject, you're like, okay, who's just comfortable with the ball in their hands?
Quinn Cook.
Quinn Cook, he definitely looks more comfortable, no question.
Yep. But
Jacob Evans,
is Jacob Evans going to play? By the way, at the start of the season,
I don't think. Remember, he has to. He has to play.
But he's not playing now. He's not playing the first half of any of these preseason games. By the way,
nope.
So Steve clearly isn't in love with what he's seeing, but
that means you're playing Clay 40 minutes.
Yeah, well, Livingston is.
Yeah, Livingston. Can you do that? I mean, how many straight games can you do that?
No.
Though?
Yeah, that's Jacob Evans has to get minutes on this team if Patrick McCaw's not on it. And what do you say? I mean, Patrick McCaw, he's not going to be on this team. I can't see that happening at this point. He's gone too far. He's gone down the road. He's basically challenged them. And
he's got to come back in like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
right?
He's
got to come in, dominate practice, and say, "You can't win without me."
He could go right at. He's going to go right at Draymond and say, "You, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do? Or I'm going to kick your ass."
He scream at Myers, "You can't win without me. Give me my second year, guaranteed."
Oh, I see it. That's so Pat. Yeah, that's so Patrick McCaw. That's really his profile in the NBA. Oh my God, that would be great. That would be just seeing that, just pay-per-view on that one. I'll watch. I don't know. Patrick McCaw's not on this team. I don't know this, and they're aggregated if you want, but I can't see him coming back to this team.
Well, what's the scenario where he comes back and it's cool?
Come in immediately and you apologize. Oh, you don't apologize, but you kind of act sheepish. But so what? At that point, I don't want him anyway. So if I'm them.
But, think about this. Patrick McCaw, in his 3rd year, basically just got out of camp. When, there's 10-year vets who, went through camp.
Yeah, that's exactly. And they know what he's worth. These guys understand that he should have taken the 1-year deal. This is what life is. You take the 1-year deal and you prove you're worth more and you get more next year.
He's the first one to not. He's the first one to say, "No, I'm not taking it."
Yep.
Out of all these players who've taken less money in their minds, right? In their mind, who've said, "Yeah, I'm gonna take less money. I'm gonna take the pay cut. I'm gonna take." And all of the players, from Steph to Draymond to Clay. To all these players who have taken it, Kevin Durant just throwing money back at the Warriors. All these players, right? There are two people who drew the line. It's nah, let me get every nickel. Andre Iguodala and Patrick McCaw.
Exactly. Very, very similar profiles in the NBA right now. And Andre always came in. He came in. McCaw didn't come in.
Yes, no question.
Which is a slight difference there. I just don't know.
So how does he come back into that locker room?
I don't know. I mean, you go back in there and you look at Draymond and you say, "Yeah, I blew off campus, no big deal." I mean, come on, it's tough. And then you're going to come in and what's he going to do? Miss his first 7 shots? It's very light with even more pressure on him. And we know that he hasn't been great under pressure, except for Game 5 of the NBA Finals, by the way, 2 years ago. Other than that, I was a McCaw guy when it was him and Ian Clark. But I last season was really shaky. Then he got hurt, and I don't know what the emotion was about after they won the championship. And now he goes through this. I don't think he's got a spot on this team, realistically. I mean, even if he comes in, they might bring him in for depth, but I think he's a Caspi waiting to happen, where he's just not a part of the locker room.
He cannot come back and have one bad game. If you can't, all right, we're going. All right,
oh, what's he going to be like in practice if he's bad and Draymond's on him? What's that going to be like?
Yeah, that's
Quinn Cook, and he takes Quinn Cook's minutes, and they're not thrilled with this. that's a whole. I hope he's thought through this. I mean, I get guys going for whatever money they can get. They should. It's your opinion. You're right. But I do hope he's thought through what this all means, and it essentially means he's not going to be on this team anymore, and that's okay. But if he hadn't thought that through, if he thought that somehow they were going to throw more money at him and it was all going to be great, he thought incorrectly. And I don't know any of us who would have ever imagined that was a scenario that was ever going to happen. Bob Myers is not going, God, you know what? We've gone 5 days without Patrick McCaw. Man, we really need that guy. That's not those words aren't being uttered in the Warriors' offices right now. And in fact, it's getting more and more the other way. You know what? Maybe we can go with Damian Lee here for on a 2-way contract. They're doing something like that.
All right.
I don't know who it's going to be.
Let's see who gets cut.
Exactly. That's the other thing. Exactly. I mean, there's going to be 2 or 3 guys get cut. I bet the Warriors are interested and have looked at in the past, and would be very interested in picking up. That's just like Quinn Cook was, by the way. Same deal. You know, he was available. Boom, Quinn Cook. There you go. And then he ends up with minutes in the finals, and taking the last shot in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals.
And took the contract that was offered to him.
It did do that exactly. A whole lot of things are good. Okay, well, I'll wrap this up with, I don't know if you read that Richard Deitch is doing the worst seasons ever, and I contributed one on the NBA today, and he kind of, he asked me not to do a really, really bad team. He didn't want to do one that's like a 17-win team. So I picked the 48-win 2007-08 Warriors after we believe.
As the worst?
Well,
it was the messiest.
Yeah, he didn't want me to, people are going to make fun of it.
Yeah, it was too easy to just pick the Victor Alexander Warriors.
Exactly. You pick some of those, Musselman years, whatever. It just isn't. It isn't the same. Brian Winters, whatever. So I just for that conversation piece I picked up. But as I was looking at it, it's amazing everything that wouldn't happen in that one season. I mean, Steven Jackson suspended to start. Barron is flying off to movies and benched in the second half of the second to last game just because Nelly said he would need to
must win.
I mean, they weren't going to make the playoffs at that point, but they needed to win that game to have any shot, and they lose it because you got Chris Webber signed. You've got so much going on. Where would you rank that team? Just what do you remember about that season, and does it strike you as a particularly ridiculous season?
Oh, no question. I just did that piece about the training camp because that season was the preface for the drafting of Steph Curry.
Yep. And
I just remember it being nonstop. It was one of the most fun seasons to cover.
It was unbelievable.
It was it was insane. It was so much fun to cover because there was so much going on. Like, it was right after We Believe, and it was literally watching a train wreck. Like, everything was falling apart. Like, Chris Mullin was being ushered out. Like, Robert Rao was taking over. Al Harrington and Don Nelson were actively beefing.
Yep.
It was just Steven Jackson was working on an extension that nobody else in the world would have given him, but he was literally saying, like, hold on, we're talking in the locker room, like, hold on, like, Robert Rao walk in, like, hold on, let me go get this contract real quick, I'll be right back. And he'll go, hey, Bobby, how you doing? Put his arm around him and then come back. Like, it was amazing. And what made it great was there were so many characters in that locker room who's willing to talk, who were just like, they were like willing to say what they needed to say. And it was just like from Nelly to Steven Jackson to Al Harrington, like even Barron when he was on his good days. I mean, they had dudes. I think, wasn't Sharunas Jasikevičius on that team?
I think he might have been. Yeah, he might have been gone by then.
I just remember even like the guys at the end of the bench were like, "Yo, this is crazy."
Your boy Biedrins.
Biedrins was on. Yeah, Biedrins was on that team. It was just such a.
And wasn't Crawford? Crawford came at the end of the year when Al got traded. Oh, Al got traded the next year. That's right.
The next year,
yeah. But Monte's sitting there in the middle. If it was ever possible for Monte to be a stable star in this league, because we know he had the talent to be, a long time, really good player. I think it all got screwed up that season. Forget about him crashing the moped. Obviously, that was huge. But that season, he's looking around at this chaos. And he just thought that was the NBA thing.
That's how he learned. Yeah, that's exactly what he learned.
You know, from Steven Jackson. Where was his locker? Was that corner one, right? He was the corner one.
Yep.
Yeah, where Durant is now. And he was just sitting there watching Barron off the other side, and Steven Jackson and Al Harrington. Nelly, you know, and Nelly never liked him. We know that. It just was, if Monte ever had a shot, he's like 21 then, right? 20, 21.
Maybe not even that old.
It
came in at 18.
Yeah, it got blown up with that season. So many of the strings that just pulled apart started that season, happened that season, or just, you know, continued through the next couple years. And again, it led to the drafting of Steph Curry in 2009. The dismissal of Don Nelson. Well, actually, Lakeup and Goober and all that. But man, that one season was for me. And the Weber thing will always be the crowning of that, because, as you know, I couldn't believe they were doing it. I just could not believe they would think this was something that could work, and they were so sure it would. Well, not all of them, but the coach was. And man, that was ridiculous. It was absurd. It was just absurd. And I think it was kind of a dividing line. Like, if you thought this thing was going to work, you should never work in the league again. And many of the people who thought that aren't working in the league right now. I'll put it that way.
They thought it would work, though. They were certain of it. That whole, because remember, like, when it was such a meteoric kind of rise. They didn't rise that high, but relatively, they got it. We Believe was like a big time. It was one of the great times in the franchise. And before that, they were like trash. That's why they had to make that trade. Remember, Mullen traded Dunleavy and Murphy. The pillars from the 01 draft, and went and got a dude who just shot up the strip club.
Yep. That's why Steven got suspended to start the next season, by the way, because of that incident. Yeah, because of that incident. So that it was like, man, we need to shake this up. And then suddenly it worked. And then suddenly it was over. But that season was watching it. Like, it was like a slow, how they blow up those buildings and you watch it go down, but it was like in slow motion. It's like, it was never ending. I remember that. There was always a story. I was always trying to chase somebody to find out what really happened. It was always like, call, hey, what really happened? Like, tell me what really happened, because something was happening and we needed to know what happened. I remember after that We Believe year, Barron was like, I need you to write something for me. He's like, man, I need you to, this is like going into, I think, maybe game 1 of the Utah series. Barron was like, I want you to write a story about how I want a new contract, right? Like, I want a contract. I need to start this now. I'm sitting here like, y'all about to take on the Jazz in round 2. He's setting up his contract. I think, weren't we you don't drink, but we were in a bar in Salt Lake City, and I think we were talking about that.
Was it Squatters or something? What they call it? Something?
Yeah, and you met me, you brought that. I went, oh my God, that's not a good sign. That's not good.
His contract.
And he had he had another year, but he could opt out, and he did opt out of it. But Jesus, it was. I remember you bringing that up. Like, they just had the most incredible first round victory in the history of basketball, and they're in Salt Lake. They matched up pretty good with the Jazz, and that was what was on Barron's mind.
He's like, yeah, man, let's capitalize. Let's make this happen. Like, let's get it.
Hey, he was right. Everybody who could get something got something, including Don Nelson, including Steven Jackson, including Robert Rowell, including Larry Riley. I know people hate when I say that, but including Larry Riley, the people were just scrambling to get something, and some people got knocked over along the way, and the whole franchise got knocked down along the way. Hey, I gotta go here. We've talked long enough. We could go on. I wanted to talk Raiders. I wanted to talk A's, but we got rambling on too much. But I will let you go.
Man, we might as well just make this a double Warriors Plus Minus.
Yeah, just slap it on.
No intro on it.
And people are dying for Warriors Plus Minus. When is Warriors Plus Minus going to be? So we'll just fake it with this one. That's good enough for me. All right, Marcus Thompson. Okay, let's just. Hey, wait a minute. I got to make this official TK show. Marcus Thompson, what's your favorite restaurant?
Oh, I should have thought about this, huh?
Yeah.
Well, so one of my favorites definitely just closed and is not open yet. One of my go-tos, Brown Sugar Kitchen. I don't know. She's moving, and I need her to hurry up and open. But I'm going to go with. Oh, you know who I'm going with? It's actually a pop-up shop in Oakland of Creole, and I'm a big New Orleans.
Yep.
I love New Orleans cuisine. But Chef Smelly does a pop-up restaurant every Friday, and it's like it's greasy, it's unhealthy, but it's so good. It's the best Creole food I've had since outside of New Orleans, and it'll be like shrimp and lobster mac and cheese, and like he's good. It's so unhealthy though, so I can't.
What's the best restaurant What's the best restaurant you and I have been to on the road? I'm trying to think now.
Oh man,
New Orleans.
That's a tough one. What was the one we went to in was it Houston? We had some really good seafood. No, I think it was what was the Ron Adams spot?
Oh,
I thought that was really good.
Valters in Salt Lake.
Yeah, that was in Memphis.
No. Okay, Valters was in Salt Lake. You didn't go with us. That was the super one. But the one in Memphis, I'm trying to think. I don't. Oh, you mean not Flight? There was another one.
No, that sounds right.
Flight. Yeah.
We were in the basement, in the cellar.
That was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, no, that was really good.
Yeah, that was an excellent one.
That was really good. I was trying to find that. I was trying to find that last time when we were in Memphis.
Really? It's right on that. It's on that one street. It's really just that one street with all the hotels are. But
you know what's definitely up there is Oklahoma Joe's.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
I don't know if we can call that a restaurant. It's more of a gas station, but.
It's so good. It's so good. The 49er riders went out there when they were playing the Chiefs, and I was feeling that a little bit. And I said, they're showing the outside of the restaurant. Just don't show me the ribs. I don't want to see pictures of the ribs because then I'm going to.
No, tough question before you go. Oklahoma Joe's or Mabel's?
Oklahoma Joe's. I hate to say it. I love Mabel's because it's right there and it's really chefy, good barbecue, but. For pure, you don't.
There's something, There's something like organically.
Yeah. I mean, they taste right, but they don't taste good. You know what I'm saying? Like the Oklahoma Joe's is just pure goodness. So they don't care about what the Michelin rating or anything. They're just giving you the ribs that they want to. But I will say Stack Jack, which is not kind of a chainy and whatever, but man, their burnt end sandwich is the best thing I've had in Kansas City. Burnt end sandwich at Stack Jack is so good. We'll go with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No question.
I don't travel as much anymore, so you can tell I'm missing a few of those things. But that's
Why don't you take a road trip then?
I might. I just might.
We'll live.
Marcus will run the site for a night or two. How about that?
Let's do it.
Everyone will love that. Everyone will love that. All right, Marcus, I appreciate it. Good to have you on. We'll do a Warriors plus.
All right, I gotta go write a column for you now.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, tell us when. Put it in on Smartsheet. We need it on Smartsheet. All right, that's the show, everybody. See you.